the qualification to receive this knowledge, which is Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Then Krishna spoke about how he's the greatest authority on this knowledge by speaking about his difference with the living entity, how his birth and how his body is transcendental, the purpose of his appearance, where he comes and gives this knowledge, that was also spoken. Then Krishna also spoke about how he reciprocates uh, accordingly as the person approaches him, ye yatha mam prapadyante. Uh, so, whatever way they approach, if they consider Krishna's body is transcendental, then Krishna also gives them a transcendental body. If they consider Krishna's body as material, Krishna also gives them the material body in this way. So Krishna brings back the discussion to Nishkam Karma Yoga, and he speaks that he only has actually created the system of Varna and Ashrama because there are different mentalities. So in order to cater to different mentalities, we see that Krishna has created the system of Varnashrama. So some will go to the Devatas because they want quick results. Some will go to the Supreme Lord. Some will take to the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga. So all this because of different modes that the people are in, right? So that's why there is no fault of Krishna. There is no blame with Krishna, but living entities, depending on different modes, they take all these different paths. So Krishna comes back to the topic of recommending Arjuna to practice Nishkam Karma Yoga. Tasmat Kuru Karmatvam. He says that you also, just as Purvataram Kritam, the past authorities, how they have worked, like Janaka and all. So you also please act in that manner. Krishna says. So now you can see action of a Nishkam Karma Yogi is spoken in the next set of verses from 16 to 24. How a Nishkam Karma Yogi actually achieves the same goal as a Jnani. That aspect has been particularly spoken over here. So we can see this now. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshami yajñatva moksha se shubhat. Okay. Vikram Prabhu, you can read the translation. If it's possible, you can read the translation for next 10 verses whenever I call you out.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes, please
Even the
read.
intelligent, even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you
Just a minute.
what is action.
I'll just increase the font little bit because yes, Prabhu.
Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune.
Yes, thank you. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna, so you can see that these aspects of karma, akarma, these are very, very important. Uh, Kim karma, kim akarma, iti kavayopyatra mohita. Even the kavis, even the greatly intelligent people, they don't understand what is karma, what is akarma. Why is Krishna saying this to Arjuna? Because even Arjuna is bewildered, right, about karma and akarma. He thinks jnana, uh, which is giving up all karma, akarma, literally, uh, where you don't perform anything, karma sannyas. So he thinks that that's the right course of action. While karma, which is nishkam karma, he thinks that that is not the right course of action. So Krishna is recognizing that aspect, that what is karma, what is akarma. Even the greatly intelligent people, and they also get bewildered. So, Tatte karma pravakshami. So I will speak to you about that karma, all these aspects. Yajñatva mokshase shubhat, by which you will become freed from this inauspiciousness in your life of rejecting to fight, of not fighting, and becoming so much grief-stricken. Uh, this is Ashubha. So understand this, what is karma, what is akarma, and what is right thing. Uh, this way. Prabhupada, to act in Krishna consciousness, one has to follow the leadership of authorized persons who are in a line of disciplic succession, as explained in the beginning of the chapter. So Prabhupada says the best way to understand what is karma, akarma, vikarma, all that, it's by understanding from the authorities. Like in this chapter also, beginning itself, Krishna is quoting the parampara. So if we get the knowledge in parampara system, then we will not be bewildered this way. So this is the point. One has to follow in the footsteps of previous authorities this way. Then we will not be bewildered. Otherwise, even very intelligent people, they don't understand karma, vikarma. How to act in this world, right? That's always considered to be a very delicate subject matter. Even in philosophy, they have one department called as ethics. When you talk about philosophy in general, they talk about, four aspects in philosophy. There is uh, epistemology, which means how do you understand something? Epistemology, the knowledge about the knowledge. Pramana Shastra, by how do you understand? What is your process to understand? Is it Shabda? Is it Anuman? Is it Pratyaksha? uh, all so many more pramanas. Is it Aitihya? Is it Arsha? Is it uh, Arthapatti? What exactly it is? So that's called epistemology. Then there is logic. Uh, in philosophical discussion should be logical, no? It should not be illogical. It should have some logic. So those logic aspects are studied in philosophy. Then there is metaphysics. Hmm. Metaphysics talks about things which may not be visible, but things which are beyond our normal perception. That's called metaphysics. Meaning things about soul, super soul, the creation, the purpose. Philosophy should discuss that. And the final, it also talks about the ethics, uh, how one should act in this world. What is good, what is bad, what should be done, what should not be done. Karma kya hai, vikarma kya hai, akarma kya hai. That's the aspect of especially how to act in this world, the ethical aspect. So we see that even in the Western philosophy, this discussion becomes so prominent. People like Aristotle and Plato and all, they keep on discussing what is right, what is wrong. So Krishna is saying that aspect. Kim karma, kim vikarma. Vikarma is like a little bit clear, but still, uh, there are perspectives also. Uh, Now, if you compare with Nishkam Karma Yoga, then karma takes the meaning as Nishkam Karma actually. Uh, and Vikarma is Karma Kand. Uh, so when Krishna is speaking also these words, it can have different meanings based on various perspectives. It is said that one cannot ascertain the ways of religion simply by imperfect experimental knowledge. So basically, Prabhupada's theme in this purport is very clear that you want to know about these things, hear from the authorities. That's it. By mental speculation, one cannot ascertain what is religion or self-realization. कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यम बोद्धव्यम च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यम गहना कर्मणो गतिः. Yes, Prabhu. Please read, Vikram Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, Krishna says three kinds of actions. One is karma, karmano hyapi bodhavyam, कर्मणः गति बोद्धव्यम, कर्म की गति को जानना चाहिए, विकर्म की गति को जानना चाहिए, अकर्म की गति को भी जानना चाहिए, गहना कर्मणो गति, क्योंकि कर्म की गति बड़ी गहन है. इट्स the whole aspect of all these karmas is very, very complicated. It's not that easy to understand. So the intricacies of action are very hard to understand. So although word here is used karmano, but basically it means everything. Karma's gati is difficult, even for that matter. Karma's gati is difficult. Uh, the intricacy of that is difficult. Vikarma's gati is also difficult. The intricacy of Vikarma is also very difficult. So three words, karma, akarma, and vikarma. So you have to you have to understand. Here, Prabhupada translates as what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. So action over here, the karma, it actually would refer to Nishkam karma. So you can note it down. Karma here refers to Nishkam karma. Vikarma here refers to forbidden action, which is sinful action, or it can also refer to Kamya karma, which means the action on the level of karma kant. That's vikarma. Vikarma can mean purely sinful action, purely, not purely, impurely sinful action. It can mean out and out sinful action, that is vikarma. But in this context, Vishwanath Chakravarti says that vikarma can also mean even the karma kand, kamya karma, or Baldev Vidyabhushan says, I think, this is Baldev Vidyabhushan. So you can say karma here certainly refers to Nishkam karma. Vikarma refers to either acting on karmakand level with the attachment for fruits, or straight away not even acting on karmakand level, being outrightly sinful. Uh, that's vikarma. And finally, akarma. Akarma refers to acting on the level of what? Acting on the level of devotional service, or acting on the level of jnana, jnana yoga at that particular level. Uh, that would be considered as akarma, uh, like that. So, as I said, these words may be taken in different meanings also. Sometimes uh, vikarma can mean the sinful actions, karma may mean the Vedic prescribed actions. But what does that mean, Vedic prescribed action? Does it mean karma kand or nishkam karma yoga? And that question may be there. So, then one of the opinion is also like this, that karma is basically karma kand, prescribed work, while akarma can mean nishkam karma yoga, it can mean jnana yoga, it can mean bhakti yoga, it can mean ashtanga yoga, wherever all these transcendental paths are there. So that's also one meaning. So don't get bewildered by karma, gana, karmano, gati. Uh, Primary meaning of this text is karma here means nishkam karma, vikarma here means sinful work, and akarma here means basically acting on the level of jnana yoga, acting in the sense basically practicing a path, transcendental path like jnana yoga or bhakti yoga also, for that matter, uh, this way. So all these aspects of karma, they should be understood very properly. Gahana karmano gati. Also, although it's not very easy to understand the aspects of the karma. If one is serious about liberation from material bondage, one has to understand the distinctions between action, inaction, and unauthorized action. So action is karma, inaction is akarma, and unauthorized action is vikarma. This way. So if one understands it properly, then one will be able to act also properly, right? And if one acts properly, then one will not be falling into the bondage. This is the problem. Hmm. If one falls in the bondage, if one becomes uh, bound by the karma bandhana, then that's considered to be the defeat. Parabhavastavata bhodajat. Uh, so that is considered to be a defeat. Uh, so Krishna is telling that's why Gahana karmano gati, the intricacy of karma is very, very difficult to understand. But still, oh Arjuna, you should understand what does karma mean, what does vikarma mean, what does akarma mean, uh, in this way. So you can see now, uh, yeah. कर्मण्य कर्म यह पश्येद अकर्मणि च कर्म यह स बुद्धिमान मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्न कर्म कृत. Yes, Prabhu.
One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men. He is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities.
Hmm. So Krishna speaks in a very enigmatic manner. You can see karmani akarmaha yah pashyed. One who sees within karma the akarma. Akarmani cha karma yah. And he sees karma in akarma. So you can see now here Krishna is speaking in very interesting manner. Hmm, just a minute. I don't know why it became so slow. It's taking so much time to open. So, sorry. So Krishna is saying, Karmani akarmaha yah pashet. One who sees, akarma in karma. And then he says, also one who sees karma in akarma. So akarma in karma, one who is saying. And then the person also sees karma in akarma. So what does it mean? What does he say about him? Sabuddhiman manusheshu. So such a person is actually considered to be very intelligent amongst the men. Sayuktaha kritsna karmakrit. And such a person is considered to be properly engaged. Kritsna karmakrit. Although engaged in all sorts of activities, he is the one who is yukta, who is in the transcendental position. So what does it mean that he sees karma in karma and karma in akarma? Anyone wants to tell? What is Krishna saying here? Uh, yes. Akarma in karma and karma in akarma. What's the meaning of akarma? What's the meaning of karma here? Yes, Shri Badambaj Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. See,
Yeah,
with my limited knowledge, Prabhuji, I can understand that karma here, it is spoken about Nishkam Karma Yoga. That
okay.
is, uh, so one who is without attached to the result and is
Hmm.
performing, it is as good as it is akarma. He
What
is not
would
attached.
that akarma mean then?
He will not have any reaction. He doesn't carry any, I mean, he will
Okay,
not have any bad results because of
yes. No karma phala. Hmm?
no karma phala. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so this is what you are saying. Akarma in karma is. All right. What about karma in akarma?
Uh, karma.
One who sees karma in akarma, meaning he is seeing that the person is doing akarma, but he sees a karma in that, you know, like
Maybe Prabhuji, see, this is he is performing the duties. That is,
hmm.
karma is performing in the Nishkam Karma Yoga, and he is transcendental to it. It's like
What
beyond.
would be the what would be the meaning of akarma here then? All right, all right. Let me explain. Okay. So Sabuddhiman Manusheshu. So let's all become Buddhiman by understanding this. Uh, One who karmanya karmaha yah pashet. One who sees akarma in karma. The first line. Karmani matlab karma में अकर्मः यह पश्येत कर्म में जो अकर्म देखता है तो कर्म में अकर्म देख रहा है ही इज सीइंग अकर्म इन कर्म. So here the karma refers to actually Nishkam Karma Yoga, which is right. Uh, So somebody who is acting on the platform of Nishkam Karma Yoga, will he generate the reactions? Will there be any karma phala? There will not be any karma phala, no karma phala, no reactionary work. Uh, So one who sees that a person acting on the Nishkam Karma Yoga, although he is engaging his mind and senses, he is acting in this world, he may fight, he may have a family, he may have a wealth and children, and he may do so many things in this world, duties, this, that, whatever. But a karma, no karma phala. So in this way, you can see, he sees that the person may perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. So he may be seen, probably sometimes someone may see, oh, he looks like an attached householder, uh, right? But such a person is performing Nishkam Karma Yoga. He is not an attached householder. He is actually not producing any karma phala. Uh, it can apply to devotional service also. Hmm. If somebody is acting in devotional service, so one may also be part of varnashrama, and one may be acting in this world and all. So someone who doesn't understand may say, oh, this person, he's acting in this world in varnashrama and all. So he's producing reaction. This is not a path of karma sannyas that he's following. Hmm. So that's why to think like that, that is actually ignorance. On the path of devotional service also, uh, we will not produce any reactions to the degree we are free from attachment to the fruits, right? So you see that on these paths, although the karma is being performed, but one sees that it is actually akarma. And one who sees karma in akarma. Now here, akarma takes a different meaning. Here it takes the meaning as nishkriyata. Uh, Inaction. Uh, It does not take the meaning as no karma phala, but inaction. So one who sees that someone may take karma sannyas, karma sannyas. But if such a person is without purification, then such a person will produce karma or not. If one has taken a path of inaction, karma sannyas, but one is not purified enough. One is still attached to sense enjoyment and all such aspects. So such person's path of renunciation also, although one may be on the path of renunciation, Sri Padambuj Prabhu, will he produce a reaction or not?
Yes,
Such,
Prabhuji, is because he is immaturely taking up the karma sannyas.
yeah. So karma phala will be there or not?
Yes, Prabhuji, karma phala he
Ah,
will he has to under.
correct. So you can see here the karma means karma phala. Here akarma means no karma phala. And here the path is Nishkam Karma Yoga or devotional service. While akarma here means inaction straight away, karma sannyas actually. So you take path of karma sannyas if it is without purification. If somebody is really on that level, uh, one who is with purification, then the meaning will be different. Then this akarma will become what? One who sees karma in akarma means one who sees a proper action. This will become then a proper action. If the karma, if the path is karma sannyas, but with purification. You understand? So, akarma, one who sees akarma in karma, meaning one who sees no karma phala in the path of bhakti or in the path of nishkam karma yoga. And one who sees a great reaction, karma phala, in the path of inaction where one has taken to karma sannyas without purification. Or one who sees that it's a proper action if one has taken to karma sannyas with purification. In that case, it such a person is considered to be intelligent, like that. Of course, even for this, taking path of karma sannyas with purification, obviously one has to have the blessings of the authorities, superiors. Like Krishna here was not ready for Arjuna, even though Arjuna wanted to take karma sannyas, but Krishna didn't want it. So if Krishna doesn't want it, then to take that path will be straight away, it will be uh, aparadh, it will be disobeying the order of Krishna, who is acting here as Guru, right? Uh, so, so that will not be proper. But if we take a general case, and if we are understanding this verse, so somebody who understands, somebody who sees karma in akarma and akarma in karma, so in that case, we see that this akarma can mean nishkriyata, which in that case, then it will produce karma phala if it is without purification. And if one takes to the path of this karma sannyas with purification, Then Baladev Vidyabhushan says, yes, it can be considered to be a proper action. Karma can mean there that, yes, that's a right path, and that's fine this way. So, Sabuddhiman manusheshu sayuktah kritsna karmakrit. So then such a person, he is basically, although engaged in all sorts of work, he remains yuktah, he remains connected, he remains transcendental. Uh, so especially Krishna is speaking from the angle of Nishkam Karma Yoga over here. That if you are engaged in Nishkam Karma Yoga, Arjuna, remain assured that it's a path of akarma. And akarmani cha karmayaha. And if you remained, and if instead of that you give up the action and take up some karma sannyas or like that, that will produce bondage because of not following the path with proper understanding, and also because of being not devoid of the purification that is there. So this is why it's very, very important that one acts on the platform of Krishna is saying on Nishkam Karma Yoga rather than accepting the path of karma sannyas, and especially without purification. So this is the point. A person acting in Krishna consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. His activities are all performed for Krishna. Therefore, he does not enjoy or suffer any effects of work. So, can you tell me what is this? Is this seeing karma in akarma, or is this seeing akarma in karma? What exactly is this? A person acting in Krishna consciousness. His activities are all performed for Krishna, therefore, he does not enjoy or suffer the effects of work.
So he
This is
sees,
what,
yeah.
yeah,
Hare Krishna
Nitin
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhu, Dandavat
Yeah.
Pranam, yes.
So
This is
Prabhuji,
what,
yeah, akarma and karma. So basically, so we are doing all the karma, but we are doing it with a very clear, keeping Krishna in the center, and we don't get any reactions. So it's absolutely akarma and karma.
yeah. So this is akarma in karma, the first line, right? That's right. Karmani akarma yah pashyat. That's right. This way. But now you see, if somebody is doing like this one now, the impersonalist ceases fruitive activities out of fear, so that the resultant action may not be a stumbling path on the path of self-realization. Now, what will this be now? If we see there is a cessation of all fruitive activities out of fear, because one does not want a resultant action. But then, if one is not qualified on that path, one will still produce the reaction. So then, Sri Padambosh Prabhu, this is what is this seeing akarma in karma or karma in akarma?
This is karma and akarma without purification, Prabhuji, as you
Yeah,
mentioned in
yes,
your
yes, yes,
classification.
yes. Exactly. So this is karma in akarma. One is ceasing all the activities out of fear, uh, fear of the bondage. But if still the resultant action, it will come if the person is not purified, if the person is caught up into still his attachments and all that, this way. So that's why what is more, what is safer path and what is more universal path and what is the path that will set a good example is the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga or the path of devotional service, this way. So that's why Prabhupada says that personalist knows rightly his position as eternal servitor, and therefore he engages himself in activities of Krishna consciousness, this way. So although being engaged in all sort of activities, karma, but they will still be acting on the platform of akarma. So the point is, we recommend akarma very much. Bhakti is considered to be akarma. But then point is what? This akarma should mean that there is no reaction. This is what it should mean. It should not mean that it is no activity only. Uh, no activity will be karma sannyas. So akarma is the path that is recommended. But what does that mean? That is the path which does not produce reaction. So then that path can be Nishkam Karma Yoga, or that path can be especially devotional service. Why am I putting only these two? I'm putting these two because there is action involved in it. There is engagement for the senses. If one is practicing Jnana Yoga with purification, or Ashtanga Yoga also with purification, then they are also paths of a karma. Fine. Uh, but especially in this context of Bhagavad Gita, a karma, Krishna or Krishna basically means always here by a karma, the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga, or the path of devotional service also, this way. So, although that akarma can be taken to mean also as no activity, like here we have taken that meaning, but that's not the primary meaning with which Krishna is speaking. Krishna is primarily taking akarma means that path which does not produce reaction, no reaction. This is his explanation of akarma. So, in that case, we see that if somebody is following Nishkam Karma Yoga or like that, and if it is not producing any reaction, then it will be also considered a path of akarma, this way. So, depending on context, the words may change the meaning. Don't get confused in any way. In general, I will tell you, the karma takes the meaning as in general, in the Vedas, karma takes the meaning as acting on the level of karma kand. Akarma takes the meaning as acting or taking a path where there is no karma phala. So now no karma phala means which all paths? Then this is Nishkam Karma Yoga. Then this is a proper Jnana Yoga, proper Ashtanga Yoga, and proper Bhakti Yoga. Of course, Bhakti Yoga is always proper. Uh, but these two, proper, I'm using that word proper for what? Purification. Without purification, if you go on these paths, then you can become a mithyachari, quite likely, this way. So in that case, akarma would mean this. And vikarma means what? Vikarma means sinful activity. No following of scripture. No, no following of scriptures. You don't follow scriptures at all in your life. You just lead life without any guidance of the scripture. One is just whatever, just social standard, or one has his own concocted standards of what is how the life should be led. That's vikarma. So these are the general meaning. Remember these generic meanings of these words. But still you have to know when the words come in the text, or when Krishna speaks in like this enigmatic kind of language, karmani akarma yah pashet, akarmani cha karma yah, then you have to see what he is saying karma there, what does karma mean there, what is akarma mean there, like that. Because quite clearly, if you take the karma kand meaning in this verse, so Krishna is saying one who sees akarma in karma. So now how is it possible to see akarma in karma, no reaction in karma kand? Is it possible? It's not possible. Karma kand will produce reaction, isn't it? So that's why that meaning will not go well. So then the acharyas, they will think about that. Krishna certainly does not mean karma over here. So what's the context here? Well, the context is of Nishkam karma. So that's why Krishna means Nishkam karma there. A karma in karma. No reaction in the path which has activities, which is Nishkam karma yoga, like that. And similarly, akarma in karma, karma in akarma, sorry, the other way, karma in akarma. So again, here also, we will see that the karma phala aspect will come. Because how can you see karma kand in the aspect of Nishkam Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga, or like that. So the word there basically means the reactions. Just like Karma Kand path produces reactions, similarly, if one takes up to just inaction, uh, takes just to a karma sannyas, then without purification, it will produce reactions. Just like path of karma kand produces. So that's basically seeing karma in a karma, this way. So Krishna is not even talking about vikarma. You can see, because vikarma is like so out of question for a follower of the Vedas that Krishna is not even discussing it. It is just out of question. Uh, Nobody will lead a vikarmi life. That's just out of question completely. That way. So everyone follows the Vedas in Vedic life. And those who don't follow Vedas and all that, they are called outside of Varnashrama. These people then typically they are called Antyajas, Antyaja, which means that they are neither Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Antyajas. So who are they? They are the people like Mlechas and Yavanas and Chandalas. They don't follow the Vedas. Even Shudra follows the Veda, the fourth category, but these Antyajas don't follow. Kirata, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, all of them are into that category of not following the Vedas. So, Anarya, and that's also another term. Arya means one who follows the Vedas, Anarya means one who does not follow the Vedas, this way. So, Krishna, although he said that understand the intricacies of karma, understand the intricacies of akarma and also vikarma, but Krishna does not so much speak about vikarma because it is understandable, more or less, it is clear that if somebody doesn't even follow the Vedas, then what can we talk about such a person? This way. So, this is it. A person acting in Krishna consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. Uh, his activities are all performed for Krishna, so he does not enjoy or suffer this way. And on the contrary, the impersonalist, he takes the path of akarma, meaning all the cessation of fruitive activities. But if he is still attached, then we see he will produce karma this way. So that's why one has to act on the platform of Nishkam Karma Yoga. That's what is Krishna telling to Arjuna. So he talks about this Nishkam Karma Yogi and how this Nishkam Karma Yogi achieves the goal of his path, the liberation, in next 5-6 verses now. So we can hear these Nishkam Karma Yogi's characteristics. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddhaha. Yes, Prabhu. Vikram Prabhu, go ahead.
One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire or time gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reaction of works have been burned by the fire of perfect knowledge.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. So, yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita. Arambha means what? Some enterprise. So, any enterprise that a person takes, they are kama sankalpa varjita. They are free from the desire of enjoyment for one's own sake. काम के संकल्प से वर्जित होते हैं उसके आरंभ उसके enterprises, any initiatives enterprises that he takes in his life, they're devoid of the desire for sense enjoyment. Therefore, pure purpose of doing one's duty as an offering to the Supreme, if he is a Nishkam Karma Yogi. And therefore, pleasure of the devotees, pleasure of Krishna, pleasure of Guru, if he is a devotee. So both these categories, Bhakti Yogi and Nishkam Karma Yogi, they're all enterprises in life. They are not for their own sense enjoyment. Nishkam Karma Yogi also remains detached from those fruits of action. Uh, his goal in performing any action is, yes, I am Brahmana, I should do it, this is my duty. And if I do my duty without attachment, I will attain moksha. This is his inspiration. He is a mumukshu. He is the desirer of moksha. So let me not get entangled in the material world. Let me attain the moksha. Thinking like that, he performs all his activities with great enthusiasm. This way. So for such a person, jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddha. So such a person, he is called by the wise people as somebody who is burning away all karma with the fire of the transcendental knowledge. See, it's all about the aspect of what burns the sinful reaction is that transcendental knowledge and being able to keep the consciousness on that transcendental knowledge. So after some time, what happens with Nishkam Karma Yogi also, that he develops that transcendental knowledge that I am not the body, I am spirit soul. And he stays on that platform of always remembering this fact that I am not the body, I am the spirit soul. And with that understanding, he acts. So then that transcendental knowledge burns away all the sinful reactions. Otherwise, he may be also doing activities exactly like a karmi, like a karmakandi is doing. Uh, a karmakandi may be doing Krishi Goraksha Vanijam. He may be doing some sacrifices if he's a Brahmana, if he is doing some Kshatriya duties, if he's a Kshatriya, but follows the karmakandi philosophy. So the same duties an Nishkam Karma Yogi may also do. But the point is, because he develops this Jnanagni, this transcendental knowledge, so then we see that it burns away all the sinful reactions. So literally speaking, the sinful reactions come because of the attachment to the fruit. If you get away from the attachment, ma phaleshu kadachana, Krishna says, so then such person will not get the reactions also. Like that. It's like that, very clear. So whether you offer those fruits of the action to the transcendental Lord, like the bhakta does, or one offers it to the Supreme, saying Brahmarpanam, I offer this to transcendental Brahman. That's it. Whatever way it is, but we see that such a person becomes free from the karma, aspect of karma. So, although it is not that easy on the path of uh, Nishkam Karma Yoga or like that to give up that attachment, because one has to have also a higher taste. So that's why Krishna will not recommend Arjuna. Later, after some time, Krishna will say, even better than Nishkam Karma Yoga is Bhakti Yoga, because yes, here there is a great higher taste that comes because of serving Krishna, chanting his holy names. So that's the topic that's coming up. But here, strictly at this point of the verse, I am also sharing with you what's the understanding that Krishna is speaking over here. Like that. So this is the thing. Prabhupada always keeps the track on Krishna consciousness. He takes all these verses to mean Krishna consciousness only, because we have already discussed that aspect, that these verses do correspond to Bhakti Yoga also. So Nishkam Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. So then in that case, these verses Prabhupada does apply for Bhakti Yoga perfectly. Because the person in Krishna consciousness is devoid of all kinds of sense gratificatory propensities, it is to be understood that he has burnt up the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge of his constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's the very important fact. What is our identification? And through that identification, we are also acting on that platform. So that's why even for a Nishkam Karma Yogi, that transcendental knowledge appears after some time. It's not like it may be there in the beginning. And similarly for a devotee also, it's not that in the beginning all our sinful reactions are gone. No, we also have to practice sadhana bhakti very, very nicely. And then we see that this aspect of kleshagni, destruction of sinful reactions start appearing. It will start going slowly, slowly. So in Bhakti Samrit Sindhu, we'll discuss detail how those sinful reactions go, at what time they go, prarabdha, uh, phalam, kutam, bijam, all these things will be discussed there in detail. But the point is, yes, these are the paths which burn away all the sinful reactions. Karmakand doesn't do that. Uh, but the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, these paths do this aspect. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nityatrapto nirashrayah karmanyabhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha.
Abandoning all attachment to results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive actions, although engaged in all kinds of undertaking.
Yeah. So you can say he gives up the attachment for karma phala completely. Nitya trapto, he is very satisfied with his duty. Paradharmo bhayavaha, he does not think that his duty is troublesome. Nitya trapto, he is satisfied in that, like that. So, nirashrayah, he does not have any material shelter. He takes the shelter of the transcendental knowledge. He takes the shelter of scriptural knowledge. Uh, Karmani abhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. And even though he is engaged in all the activities, but he is naiva kinchit karoti, still he does not perform the activities in the sense that he will not get any sort of reaction. Such a person will become free from reaction. Naiva kinchit karoti. This way. So typically speaking, those persons, they consider themselves that they are doing all these activities because they have to do. This is their varna, and they should act in this varna. But they do also have knowledge of Supreme Lord and knowledge of at certain point of time, Nishkam Karma Yogi starts getting the knowledge of Atma, that aspect of Atma. So that's how because of that knowledge of transcendental subject matter and doing these duties under the instructions, doing them devoid of attachment to the fruits. Uh, so then such a person, he starts becoming qualified for getting that full understanding of jnana. They start becoming purified, their desire for enjoyment starts going away, and the person becomes qualified to get Atma Gyan completely. Uh, so that's their characteristic. That's why it is said he performs no fruitive action. He is performing all actions, but without any attachment. So that's why it is as if he is not na eva kinchit karoti. He is not doing anything. He is not doing anything that will bind him. That's the problem. That's the thing. This freedom from the bondage of actions is possible only in Krishna consciousness, when one is doing everything for Krishna. So, the best way to be free from that bondage is what? It is possible only in Bhakti Yoga, right? Because Bhakti Yoga is so full of taste, joy, that one can quickly give up the attachment to the fruits. On path of Nishkam Karma Yoga also, sometimes it is not that easy to give up the uh, because yeah, as I said, the positive aspect of Krishna Bhakti, chanting of the holy names, association of devotees, very wonderful engagements in Krishna's service, they are not available for Nishkam Karma Yoga. Uh, he remains, uh, occupied primarily in his Varnashrama. No? So that's why sometimes for such a person, it may become difficult to give up the fruits. But for Krishna conscious person, very quickly one becomes detached. Mm. And one learns performing everything for Krishna's pleasure. Of course, even on path of bhakti, it is not that easy also. One may not be able to give up attachments that easily. But if one is in a good association, if one is serious in bhakti, then at least one can make quick progress towards that goal. Even big attachments, we see that in Krishna bhakti, we are able to give up so quickly, right? But then we have to also go ahead and work on the bigger set of attachments, that are the subtler set of attachments, right? Like some people, when they come to bhakti, then they might be eating non-vegetarian food. So now for giving up non-vegetarian food for practicing bhakta becomes so easy, right? Because there is such a variety of prasadam and all, one just forgets non-veg food. Uh, it isn't it? It's not like you have to, when somebody is going out and sees some non-veg food, then you have to hold him back. You have to catch him, otherwise he's running there to consume that non-veg food. No, it's just, I mean, there's just no taste. Uh, Finished. It is gone completely. It might be very disgusting now. Even to look at it may be disgusting. Uh, so that's with something like non-vegetarian food. Or some people may be attached to taking tea and coffee. So that's also very great attachment, especially in India. Not easy to give up tea and coffee. They will give up onion garlic also, but not tea and coffee. But then, yes, in bhakti, if you continue, then eventually we see that very quickly devotees are able to give up tea and coffee also. Then they wear kantimala, then they chant, increase their rounds also, 16 rounds, and then they want initiation. So very nice progress that way. So that's why Prabhupada writes that this freedom, it's possible only in Krishna consciousness in the easiest possible manner. uh, that way. A Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, he has no attraction for the results of the action. Hmm. He is not even attached to his personal maintenance, for everything is left to Krishna. Hmm. Right? Sometimes those who are very advanced devotees, they may not be even worried about their own personal maintenance. There was this devotee who gave, like in Bhaktisiddhan's time, I mean, so many examples, even in Prabhupada's time, right? There were devotees like Jayanand Prabhu and so many others, Grahastha couples. They just gave everything for Prabhupada. Um, in fact, they stayed in such simple facilities, nothing. Uh, and what to speak of this very special devotee in Bhaktisiddhan's life, where he donated his entire life's earning for his Guru Maharaj and the project of Guru Maharaj. And when the temple was built, he was staying in one small room in that temple and practically behaved like he is being offered some shelter there by Guru. Uh, he would he would say also that, my dear Guru Maharaj, that thank you so much for allowing me some shelter in this house of yours. Although he only gave the entire properties money he had given, but you can see that was his consciousness, that he thought my Guru is maintaining me. So it's a very exalted kind of attitude, the very advanced devotee. this way. So point is, at one point of time, we also want to come to that level where whatever we do, we have this consciousness that actually it belongs to Krishna, it belongs to Guru. It's just that I have been given the opportunity to engage it in Krishna's service. So because it is in my custody, so I'll take a good care of it. But it is meant for Krishna's service as much as possible, uh, like that, in this way. So such a person will never ever develop any reaction, no karma phala. Nirashiryata chittatma त्यक्त सर्व परिग्रह शारीरम केवलम कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Vikram Prabhu, go ahead. You have to read till text 25. Okay.
Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence, perfectly control, gives up all sense proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus, working he is not affected by sinful reactions. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So for all the characteristics of such a person, Nirashi Yata Chittatma, he is free from the desires for sense enjoyment, and he is constantly, he's constantly working over control of his mind and senses. Tyakta Sarva Parigraha, he does not run behind accumulating things for one's sense enjoyment. Shariram Kevalam Karma Kurvanapnoti Kilvisham, and he performs activities only for bare necessities of life. Shariram karma literally means that much karma, that much activity which is needed to keep body and soul together. Uh, so what does it mean is that such a person may actually become quite detached from accumulation of too many resources in this world. Such a person may take up a very sort of simple life where he is doing his duty, but then in a way that whatever is minimum needful in this world, it should be done. And then such a person does that. Rest of the time, the person may spend in cultivating spiritual knowledge and all that. It depends actually. No matter, here, if somebody is a king, then he should act like a king. If somebody is a Brahmana, then he should act like a Brahmana. See, in Varnashrama, it is important to recognize that you don't want a king to act like a Brahmana, where the king, what would be a king if you see a king is wandering around with tattered clothes and, looks like a skinny person who is under malnutrition for 21 days or so, no food. So will anyone take such a king seriously? No, right? So king means he has to be strong. King means he has to have royal clothes, very royal crown, and he should have his entourage. Then that's a king. And of course, queen also. King means he has to have a queen also. Uh, so that's a king. So that's why, doing duty in this world, the need of one particular person may be different than another. Sometimes one may just want to keep everybody in the same blanket rule. Uh, this is what is transcendental means. You live very simply, you live with minimum resources. No, it depends on what is the expectation from that person. Uh, if the expectation is that you should do this and this service where you need to be with a certain level of resources, then you do it. Then you should have it. But if the expectation is not like that, if the expectation is that you just set a good example of what is a detached devotee, then it's best actually. Then such a person should live his life very, very simply, offer everything for Krishna's service, and just keep some bare minimum necessity for oneself that way. So it all depends upon what is your service. And that's why it's important that one remains close to spiritual guides and spiritual master and Shiksha gurus so as to understand one's own role that way. Otherwise, one will just have one's own idea of how I should live in this world, and then that may be coming out of some attachment uh, more than what is expected out of us by guru and superiors and all. So as we go ahead in spiritual life, no, the involvement of a spiritual master, if not spiritual master, then at least the spiritual superiors, Shiksha Guru and counselor, and so there should be a good involvement of them in our life. If we remain independent island and then just go on Sundays or like that to just say hi to devotees, that's good for initial people. But then you also have to take up commitment, become more serious. Krishna will see how much serious we are in allowing the entry of his devotees in our life. Krishna will see that also, and accordingly he will bless us this way. So the point is that yes, these devotees, I mean, this Krishna conscious person or a Nishkam Karma Yogi, these people are beyond karma phala, that particular aspect. Prabhupada speaks about a devotee especially. A Krishna conscious person is always dovetailed with the supreme desire. He dovetails. Prabhupada says he moves exactly like part of a machine. It is interesting that a devotee is being compared to a part of a machine, right? Uh, so as a machine part requires oiling and cleaning for maintenance, so Krishna conscious person maintains himself by his work just to remain fit for action in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Like an animal, he has no proprietorship even over his own body. A cruel proprietor of an animal sometimes kills the animal in his possession, yet the animal does not protest. So Prabhupada is speaking quite a high level of surrender here. Practically, a devotee is like sold out animal to his spiritual master, to the Supreme Lord. So we may have still a lot of independent mentality in ourselves. But yeah, as we progress in bhakti, we become more and more moldable, flexible in the hands of the devotees in this way. So Prabhupada is comparing to a machine part because the machine part acts in the service of the machine, isn't it? We may be a small part, but we play our part. So we keep ourselves fit, we keep ourselves healthy so that we can engage in Krishna's service as the devotees want us to engage this way. So that's the aspect of bhakti that Prabhupada is pointing out. Yadrachalabha santushto dvandvatito vimatsarah sama siddhava siddhau cha kritva pina nibadhyate. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, there is some lag when I call you out to
We
read. Uh,
we who is satisfied.
is it because of uh, maybe internet, I think.
Yes, Purji. We he who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions.
Yadricha labha santushto, he is happy with whatever is achieved. Uh, he is beyond the dvandva dualities, this is good, this is bad. Uh, and he remains happy or he remains he has that equanimity of the mind, equanimous in whether he achieves success or failure, so then such a person does not uh, get bound. So these are the characteristics that will come in many places. Even in Sthita Prajna, you read these characteristics They were there, right? So the same characteristics are being spoken here also. A Krishna conscious person does not make much endeavor to even to maintain his body. He is satisfied with gains which are obtained of their own accord. So whatever is by honest labor, we are happy with that. A devotee may not want to make a very big money by taking to some unscrupulous means. By honest living, if you can make great money, very nice. But even if you can't, it's fine. Uh, we keep the honest means in our life. We don't want to just accumulate huge wealth, but taking some dishonest means or like that. No. Because yadricha lava santushto, one is happy with whatever God has given uh, with that, like that. Hmm. He does not accept engagement in anyone's service if it might hamper his own service in Krishna consciousness. Uh, the point is, if some sort of service or association is hampering his bhakti, and then he does not want to take up that. If there were opportunities to earn huge wealth, but you don't have association of devotees, and if there is an opportunity where you have very good association, but there is not so much of wealth, it is basically less than that prior opportunity. Which one will you take? Will you take the one where the association is there, but not so much lucrative, but the other one is very lucrative, but there is no association. So this is how. So one should put the association over the aspect of just mm, yeah, huge resources or luxury or like that. Uh, because even if somebody is in great luxury or monetary position, no, finally the happiness comes from within. Mm. And for that, our mind, our heart should be satisfied. If that is not satisfied, then even if one may be millionaire, billionaire, but still one may not be satisfied. Why? Because one does not have the satisfaction of the heart. Hmm. In fact, even the psychologists and these people also agree, relationship experts, that the real satisfaction in life comes through healthy relationships. Relationships are very, very important in this world. Hmm. Even the materialistic people understand this aspect. Hmm. It's not just things that will satisfy us. It's the relationships, right? Because even things, for whom does person want to get the things for? One wants to bring the things for pleasing some beloved person, right? Whatever, one's wife or husband or mother or father, brother, sister, or whatever. Uh, so finally, it is relationship. And if you have wholesome relationships, nourishing relationships, you can see that you will be a happy man in life that way. But if one does not have relationships, even though one may have the wealth of the whole world, but then one will still be very dissatisfied this way. So that's why uh, we have to have very good, solid relationships with devotees, uh, friendship with devotees, and then we see that we will actually be very much nourished in bhakti this way. So all these dualities of the world, they will not influence such a person if this person he is satisfied with Krishna consciousness, satisfied within the heart. uh, So then for such a person, he becomes completely freed from all the reactions and he becomes qualified for moksha. That aspect is said. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavasthita chetasah yajnaya charatah karma samagram pravidiyate.
The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature, and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge, merges entirely into transcendence.
Yeah. So for such a person, gata sanga, no attachment, he is a mukta. He is become now a liberated soul, jnanavasthita chetasaha, he becomes completely situated. His mind is completely at the level of transcendental knowledge. So even if he is performing any karma, samagram praviliyate, that karma becomes completely merges into transcendence. Whatever he does becomes a sacrifice now, such a person. Because he's completely on that level that I am doing this only for the pleasure of the Supreme. I'm not doing it for my own sense enjoyment. So one understands I'm not the body, I'm the spirit soul, and on that level one is acting as a duty. He performs that activity without any attachment. Gata Sangha. So that's a devotee, right? Everything of devotee then becomes service. Such a devotee, everything becomes a sacrifice. Sacrifice means yajna. Then such a devotee, he may be working in the world, that is also yajna. He may be taking care of his family, that is also yajna. He may be serving the devotees, that is certainly a yajna. So everything becomes a yajna, like that. All the activities become transcendental this way. So one may see outside externally that, oh, he's acting in office, or he's just doing some business, or he's just doing some management, or like that. But for such a self-realized soul, everything they do is completely, it becomes yajna. So in the next verse, Krishna speaks that how everything there, for especially Nishkam Karma Yogi, it becomes Brahma. It becomes transcendental completely. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir, Brahmagnau Brahmana Hutam, Brahmaivatena Gantavyam, Brahmakarma Samadhina. Yes, so this is an interesting verse which is Brahma, 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 and puts everybody in Brahma. इतने बार ब्रह्म है कि वो भ्रम में पड़ जाता है. क्या अर्थ है इसका? यस प्रभु. Nitin Prabhu, you can read this translation.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam.
A person
Okay.
who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution of spiritual activities in which the consumption the
Consummation.
consummation is obsolete, and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. Sorry,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. No, thank you so much. So now from text 25, Nitin Prabhu can read. Thank you, Prabhu, for reading all these verses. So interesting now, for such a self-realized person who is a mukta now, one who has developed full understanding of spiritual life, that he is not body, he is spirit, soul. So what happens for such a person? It is mentioned here. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir. So these are all elements of a sacrifice, yajna. Arpanam means what? Arpanam means, those spoons that you have, the spoons by which you perform a yajna, sruk, suva, and all those ladles, various kinds of ladles by which you can perform a sacrifice. तो वो ब्रह्म बन जाता है. The imagine a Nishkam Karma Yogi who is doing a certain sacrifice. So now Krishna is saying that Sruk Suva or all other kinds of ladles that he is using, everything becomes Brahma. Brahma means what? It becomes transcendental. Everything is, none of it will produce any karma or like that. It's completely transcendent. Brahma Havir. The havi, the ghee, or the grains that you put in the yajna, the ahutis of grains and the ghee, havi especially would mean ghee. So that also becomes Brahma. That is also transcendental. Although they are material substances, but they are turning transcendental. That's the point. See, that Shruksuva, it is made up of what? It is made up of wood. It's a wooden thing. How is it transcendental? How is it spiritual, you may ask? But by the consciousness of the person, what has happened? This whole effort has become completely transcendental. Like Prabhupada would give example of an iron rod. Iron rod, if you heat in fire and it becomes red hot. So red hot iron rod. Now, is it iron rod or is it fire? What it is? Param Sundari Mataji, Param Sundari Radha Mataji. A red hot iron rod, will you call it fire or iron rod?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Red hot iron rod. Prabhu, can you please repeat the question?
I'm saying if you take an iron rod and you heat it, so much it is heated that now it turns into a red hot iron rod. So now,
Yes, it becomes fire, Prabhu.
will you call it fire or will you call it iron rod?
It becomes as good as fire, Prabhu.
As good as fire. Okay, synonymous with fire. Yes, so that's the concept here. Prabhupada gives very appropriate example. So just as iron rod, when in fire, will turn into actually fire, right? You can't now hold it in hand saying, iron rod only. No, if you hold it in hand, oh, finished. It will rip off, it will melt your hands. Sometimes in all these steel factories and all, terrible accidents happen where those rods may cut a limb of a person or something. Because it is no longer iron rod, it is fire now. It is as good as fire. So just as fire will burn, this iron rod will also burn. So similarly, it is being mentioned that the ladle becomes Brahma, it becomes transcendental, it is spiritual. This whole effort of yajna is spiritual for such a person. This is the point of this verse. Understand, it's not a mysterious verse. Krishna has used Brahma, 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 Brahma. So sometimes people don't understand the meaning. But you understand the meaning is that for someone who has, with the right consciousness, developed this self-realization, for such a person, anything that he does becomes completely spiritual. So the ghee and the grains that he is putting, that is also Brahma. Brahmagna, the fire is Brahma. That fire is also spiritual. Brahmana hutam, one who is putting the ahuti, hutam, hota, matlab one who puts the ahuti, that person is also completely transcendental. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. So now you tell me, if such a person who is himself become completely spiritual, his ladle is spiritual, his ghee is spiritual, his entire sacrifice is spiritual, so what destination he will attain? Will he not attain spiritual destination? Entire existence has become completely spiritual. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. So by such a person, Brahma will only be his destination. So why we are speaking here about Brahma? Why are not we speaking here about Krishna eva tena gantavyam or Krishna loka eva tena gantavyam? कोई बता सकता है यहाँ पे ब्रह्म ब्रह्म क्यों बोला जा रहा है? Why not Krishna? Yes. Why is Krishna saying Brahma? It becomes Brahman, it becomes Brahman, it becomes Brahman. Don't understand this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, because it becomes spiritual.
Because it becomes spiritual, right? So I could have said, fine, no, Prabhu. So why could I not replace this by word Krishna? Krishna Arpanam, Krishna Havir, Krishna Agno, Krishna Nahutam, Krishna Nahutam, like that. Instead of Brahma, I can use the word Krishna also, no? That everything becomes Krishna conscious. The ladle is also Krishna's energy, and this is also Krishna's energy. Fire is also Krishna's energy. Everything is Krishna's energy. Does not how that happens in Krishna consciousness. But here, instead of saying Krishna, Krishna is saying Brahma. Hmm. Brahma karma. Yeah. What's that?
Is it still manifestation?
No. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. So by such a person, Brahman only will be achieved. Why? Because his entire karma has become a samadhi in Brahman. Brahma karma samadhi. So, who is Krishna talking about here if he is going to Brahman? Is he talking about which path he is talking about here? Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. Do devotees go to Brahma? Brahman? Tell me, who goes to Brahman? Do the devotees go, or which path entails you to go to Brahman? Tell me.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, Karm Kand path, Prabhuji.
Karma Kand path will take you to Brahman?
No,
How
not
is
to
that?
Brahman. Sorry, I heard Brahma. So Brahman, Prabhuji. So Brahman will be
Nishkam Karma Yoga. Is that what you want to say? Okay, he's lost his voice.
Prabhuji, Gyan Yoga. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Okay, Jnana Yoga. See, the word here is Brahma. None of you understand it is as Brahma. It's not Brahma. It is Brahma, which means Brahman, which means that that transcendental Brahman, Brahma Jyoti that we call it, right? That's what is. So when Krishna says that for such a person, everything becomes Brahma, means everything becomes transcendental, spiritual, and he will attain finally the Brahman, because his entire work has become actually completely Brahman, completely transcendental. So I am asking, the clue over here is Brahmaiva tena gantavam. Such a person will go to Brahman. So now, based on that, you can understand who is Krishna speaking this about. Who are the people who go to Brahman? Devotees don't go to Brahman. This verse is actually speaking about Nishkam Karma Yoga. You have to remember the context always. Because I'm telling you, Prabhupada writes in terms of Krishna consciousness only. That's how he writes always, this way. But there is also a context to these verses. So you understand that context and then understand Prabhupada's words also. That is fine. But if you don't understand the context of the verses, then you will have only one unidimensional kind of understanding, that, okay, everything is seen in terms of Krishna consciousness. So we have seen that this entire context is Nishkam Karma Yoga. So if one acts in this manner in Nishkam Karma Yoga, then everything, all his activities, they become transcendental. And because they become transcendental, such a person attains merging in Brahman. He achieves the moksha, Sayuja moksha, such a person. That way. Now, if we want to apply this verse for Krishna devotees, then that is also fine. But then there the meaning of Brahma will be basically everything becomes spiritualized as Krishna's energy. If we, in Krishna consciousness, if somebody develops that level of self-realization, Krishna prema, then we see that such a person, for him, every action becomes Krishna conscious in the sense that such a person's body is transcendental, such a person's, like why do devotees keep Prabhupada's things preserved even now? Because everything that is there of spiritual master who is a self-realized soul is transcendental. His shawl is transcendental, his shoes are transcendental, his devotees have kept his bags, his shoes, his socks, his everything, in fact, whatever Prabhupada used. So why is that? That is because it is seen as now completely spiritual, completely transcendental, because he had such love for Krishna. So all those things also have become spiritualized. Although they are material, but they have become like that iron hot rod, hmm? Red hot iron rod. Hmm? Uh, it has become completely fiery. So similarly, these things also have become fiery because of being used by a pure devotee of Krishna, in that way. So that's the aspect. So Krishna is telling, make your entire existence into a sacrifice, Arjuna, and don't run away from the battlefield, but make your entire activity and let this fighting become a sacrifice. Become a Nishkam Karma Yogi and fight with such uh, detachment and with such a knowledge of the Supreme that your entire fight becomes into a sacrifice. Just like this verse is describing, that for such a person, everything becomes sacrifice. So don't take here the duty mean to say only the performing of sacrifice. No. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, let your fighting become a sacrifice. Like here, this sacrifice is mentioned. No? So Krishna is telling literally, this whole yajna, this whole battlefield is like yajna kunda. Vishwan Chakravarti explains this in one of the next set of verses. Not here, but he explains later that he is telling, let the battlefield become yajna kunda. Kauravas are the Arpanam. Rather, Kauravas are the Havis. Kauravas and all these warriors that will be uh, offered as an ahuti in that Yajna Kunda. Your arrow, bow and arrow is Arpanam. That is the ladle with which you pick up these ahutis and throw them in the Yajna Kunda. Brahmana Hutam, you are like a Brahmana Hota. You are the one who is performing this sacrifice, but not with ladles, but with the bow and arrow. So let this whole fighting turn into a sacrifice, Arjuna. It is a sacrifice. सारी रणभूमि ही यज्ञ कुंड है. यहाँ पे आप आपके धनुष और बाण रूपी सुरुक्सुआ से कौरव आदियों की आहुति जो है इस यज्ञ कुंड में दीजिए. Like that, Krishna is telling to make his entire work into a sacrifice. So let it be fighting, let it be studying, let it be all sorts of duties that we have in the world. But if we do them for the pleasure of the Supreme, or if a Nishkam Karma Yogi, he does it as an offering to the Supreme. Uh, so you don't worry about Nishkam Karma Yogi if it is too much troublesome for you, no problem. You only think about how, as a devotee, we can understand this verse. So, as a devotee, Let everything, whatever we do, let it be sacrifice. Like that. Yagya hai ye. Our studies are yagya, our work in this world is yagya, our all the activities that we do, let them be yagya. It's not easy to have this sort of consciousness, but yes, Krishna is inspiring Arjuna that do it in that manner. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. So, in this way, in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. So whatever is offered here, basically Brahma Karma Samadhi means one is so much in tune with pleasure of Krishna that anything he does is completely a consummate attempt to please Krishna. That's the sort of consummation that Krishna is speaking. Everything becomes a complete spiritual affair. So then everything becomes transcendental. That's why we never say that studies are material for a student or occupation is material for a devotee or taking care of a house and children is material for a mother. No, everything is transcendent, provided you strive for that kind of consciousness. A father may take care of his wife, a husband may take care of his wife and children, thinking that actually these are not my children, these are Krishna children, and they have been given in my custody. So I have to take care of them nicely as much as possible, not only giving them material facilities, but also spiritual facilities. At least I give them the spiritual facilities. Whether to take them or not, that's their question. That free will is always there with Jiva. But at least from my side, let me offer that facility completely this way. So similarly, all other aspects of life, we can have that consciousness. So then such a person is sure to attain the abode of Krishna. Brahmaivatena gantavyam means that such a person will certainly go back home, back to Godhead, to the spiritual kingdom. As far as Nishkam Karma Yoga is concerned, where will he go? He will go to the Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti. That's why Krishna has used those words like Brahma, 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 Brahma there. He is not using the words which are directly Krishna conscious because he's speaking about Nishkam Karma Yoga, although it applies there for also devotee this way. So this is the point. The principle of Krishna consciousness is described that way. So Prabhupada says, just as a patient who is suffering from disorder of bowels, so you know this, that if somebody consumes too much milk or rabdi or some ghana dugdha, especially rabdi or too much milk item, if you take, then you spoil the stomach. Then what's the remedy? The same form of milk, but in the form of curd, can cure your stomach ache. If you get dysentery, then the milk can cause dysentery, but the curd can cure dysentery. Although milk and curd are basically the same thing, but it's a transformation of milk. So same way, one sort of activities, they bind us in this world. But when those same activities, they are done with the right consciousness, it is like transforming milk into curd, then they will free us from the bondage. It is amazing, no? Activities, they will cause the bondage, but if you just fine tune the factor of who are you doing it for? Are you attached to the karma phala? Are you attached to doing it for your own pleasure or for Krishna's pleasure? Is it an offering for your own mind and senses, or is it an offering for Krishna? Is it a sacrifice, or is it just an act with great attachment? So based on that, the same activity will turn free you from bondage or bind you in bondage. And the classic example Prabhupada is quoting is from Bhagavatam actually. The milk causes the stomachache, but the curd cures the stomachache. And milk and curd is the same only. It's just that transformed milk is curd. Similarly, transformed activities or duties will cause you freedom from the bondage. This way. So, this is the point. The more the activities of the material world are performed in Krishna consciousness, the more the atmosphere becomes spiritualized by complete absorption. This way. So, Brahma here means spiritual. That way. So, point is, the whole thing becomes spiritual. This way. So, when the mind is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, it is said to be in samadhi or trance. So, if you can have that 100% desire to please Krishna, then that is samadhi. Even though one may be acting, doing his duty, running around, driving the vehicle, going to the office, doing his work, coming back, but if one has complete consciousness of pleasing Krishna in every single act, then it is samadhi only. Samadhi doesn't mean just sitting, closing your eyes, and then being devoid of any thought. No, that's not samadhi. It's a walking samadhi, walking, talking samadhi. जंगम समाधि है वो, स्थावर समाधि नहीं. Sthavar bhi, Jangam bhi, whatever. Such a devotee, if he's sitting and chanting, that is also samadhi. If he is driving car or he is doing some other activities, that is also samadhi. So you can see it's a very exalted platform of Krishna consciousness. But Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't run away from the battlefield. Make the battlefield your yajna kunda. बनाओ भाई रणभूमि को तुम आज यज्ञ कुंड बनाओ और उसमें ये आहुति दो. This is what I want you to do, Arjuna. Not run away from the battlefield. So we should also do this, right? Let's make our life into a yajna kunda by trying to perform, do everything for Krishna's pleasure as much as possible. We may have our own limitations, but yeah, at least we have that sincere desire that, yes, Krishna, let me offer everything for your pleasure. That's the Bhakti Yoga standard. It's a very lofty standard, no doubt, but it's also very pleasurable. Then you will see that you will become free from the anxiety. Whether the success comes, failure comes, you're like, all right, I don't worry. Krishna is in control. I have done my part. I have done the best effort. Now, after that, if Krishna wants to give, he will give. If he doesn't want to give, he will not give. But I have done my part. Usually, we become detached without putting the effort. That is our characteristic. I am not attached. But have you put effort? No, no, that also I didn't put, Prabhuji. So, no, obviously, you will be detached then. But after putting efforts, we have to become detached. Like that. If you become, if you don't want the fruits of actions and all that, after putting the effort, that is called as responsibility. And if you become free from desire for fruits without putting the effort, that is called as irresponsibility. Then we are irresponsible. We are not so much responsible. So, detachment and irresponsibility, these are two different things. Detachment is after you have put the effort. Irresponsibility means without putting any effort. Lazy, just like that. And then we may justify it by saying, oh, no, I'm not attached. No, that's tamoguna. This way. All right. So that's how Krishna has explained this wonderful section and is giving Arjuna the final thing that make it into a sacrifice, Arjuna, like that. So this is one of the favorite verses of Mayavadis. Like we chant Mahaprasade Govinde, no? So I have seen in ashramas of Rishikesh and even here in some of the ashramas. I don't go to associate there with Mayavadis. You may think, why am I going there? No, sometimes I go there to get some books from them which are important to know a certain concept or like that. But I don't associate with them. I just have some good relationship. I give them Krishna Prasad, which they take happily and they eat Krishna Prasad also. So one time I was there, I was just leaving Matha and this was a book on Nyaya which I needed. So I went to meet this person. And then I saw that their prasadam was about to start. So then they have this prayer in the beginning. So I said, I just wanted to hear what they chant. I said, I won't take prasadam because I'm already late. So then they chant this mantra. And they all sat, they folded their hands and then Brahmarpanam Brahma Havir Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. Because their understanding is the food is Brahman, I am Brahman, and I put the food in Brahman. Brahman goes into Brahman. Like that, they have the understanding. So that's why they chant this mantra. This is their Mahaprasad prayer. Uh, so, anyway, you understand what the verse means now, right? All right. So, now after this section, Krishna is just giving some details of various kinds of sacrifices, Nishkam Karma Yoga, also Jnana Yoga, where because he spoke about the sacrifice, yajna, so Krishna now describes various kinds of yajnas, which are basically performed by different kinds of Nishkam Karma yogis and also Jnana yogis or Ashtanga yogis. uh. So this is the topic from 25 to 33 on different kinds of sacrifices. Hmm. And then after that, he will speak about the result and glory of this jnana, this transcendental jnana. All these sacrifices here mentioned, they are geared towards developing that jnana, that aspect of I am not the body, I am the spirit soul, the transcendental knowledge. So that is the topic over here. So I'm going to go very quickly through this section because it is just describing the various kinds of sacrifices. And then if it's getting too late, then 4 or 5 verses will take tomorrow. But otherwise, yes. Let's go to this section quickly because there is not much to discuss. These are all various kinds of yajnas that the Nishkam Karma yogis or the Jnana yogis take so as to develop the aspect of Jnana. So what are these sacrifices? Daivameva pare yajnam yogina paryupasate brahmagna va pare yajnam yajne naivopavchuhvati. Yes, Nitin Prabhu, you can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman.
Yeah. So there are some who offer the sacrifices to, especially to the particular demigods. Amongst the Nishkam Karma yogis also, we see that some of them, they may take the path of offering sacrifices to a particular demigod, uh, like Indra or Chandra, depends on what basically what path they are following and what devatas they worship, right? There are different devatas like Indra, Chandra, Surya, Varuna, and all. And there are sacrifices mentioned to all these personalities. So some of them, they take up these sacrifices to the demigods as their process, and they may not be so much interested in doing the sacrifice to please the Brahman, to please in the sense to do it as an offering to the Brahman. So those particular yagya people, those who perform such yagyas and all that, so they may be, you can say, initial neophyte kind of Nishkam Karma yogis who are getting into performing these sacrifices only for the sake of demigod. But as they proceed, then they become interested in performing every sacrifice for the sake of pleasure of the Brahman, pleasure of the Supreme, rather, you could say, for self-realization. So that's the second one. Uh, Brahmagnava pare yajnam yajnenaiva upajuhvati. So who are these? These are the ones who basically perform the sacrifice of the fire of Supreme Brahman, which means they are interested in understanding of Brahman, understanding how they are not body, they are spirit, soul. So this basically is referring to Jnana yogis actually. The prior one is referring to the neophyte Nishkam Karma yogis. But they go from here to here, like that. So that is the aspect that is being spoken here. All the different varieties of sacrifice can be placed within two primary divisions, namely sacrifice of worldly possessions and sacrifice in pursuit of transcendental knowledge. So initially, the person may be only offering the things of this world, dravya yajna, but later the person also understands how it is very, very important to perform everything for the sake of transcendental knowledge. This way. Transcendental knowledge, so whether as a jnana yogi or what to speak of a devotee, he performs everything for pleasure of the Supreme. This way. So those are the two kinds of sacrifice Krishna is saying, Daivam Yajna and Brahma Yajna, like that. Shrotraadinindriyanyanye Sanyamagnishu Juhvati Shabdadin Vishayananya Indriyagnishu Juhvati. Yes.
Some, the unadulterated brahmacharis, sacrifice the hearing process and the senses in the fire of mental control, and others, the regulated householders, sacrifice the objects of the senses in the fire of the senses.
This is an interesting verse. Now Krishna speaks about the sacrifice of Naishthika brahmacharis versus the sacrifice of, as it is known as Upakurvana brahmachari. There are two kinds of brahmacharis. Naishthika means one who does not at all marry in his life, meaning after passing from Gurukula, one just continues from brahmachari to sannyasa ashram. That's called a Naishthika. Literally meaning one who uh, never ever discharges his semen, because the only purpose of doing that is to procreate, and because the person never gets into act of procreation, so that's called a Naishthika. And there is another brahmachari called as Upakurvana. Upakurvana. So what does he do? He practices brahmacharya till the time he is in Guru's ashram. And after that, he marries. And then he practices brahmacharya in the sense that one, one only uses his senses for only for the sake of procreation, and that's all, not for any other purpose. So that's the aspect being spoken over here. So there are these brahmacharis who perform the sacrifice called as, Sanyamagni, meaning what? The senses like ears and all that, ears or hands, eyes, they offer in the sacrifice of mental restraint, meaning they don't engage these senses in this world. They engage them only for the sake of Krishna's service. Their ears or their eyes, their hands, legs, they will engage only for the sake of Krishna's service. That's it. That is called as utilizing the senses like ears, nose, eyes in the fire of mental restraint. So they prohibit themselves from using these senses for the sake of material material activities. But for a grahastha, one may have to utilize the senses for some material activity because he has to work, he has to earn money, he has to face outside world, he has to have a family, he has to provide for the family and all. So that's why for him it is said, Shabdadin Vishayan Anne Indriyagnishu Juhvati. So for him, the senses is like the fire, and in that fire he gives the ahuti of sense objects, meaning he connects through his senses the sense objects, but only under regulation. There is contact of sense and sense objects. For a brahmachari, that contact also should not happen. He is basically only utilizing the senses for Krishna's service. But for grahastha, it is mentioned that one may utilize the opportunity, but it is only utilized for the sake of regulated, acceptable sense enjoyment in a certain ashram. Right? Like someone is marrying, so then one should remain a chaste person in the marriage. And then, like how Krishna also says that dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Krishna says that. That sex life, which is not against the religious principle, that's me, he says to Arjuna. Meaning, Krishna blesses that kind of life very much. So now take that principle for every other aspect. Let it be the aspect of eating or sleeping or working in this world, allowing our selves to get in touch with the money, get in touch with the money or all other aspects of this world. So it is mentioned for a householder, it's basically like it's also a sacrifice. There is the sacrifice of the senses coming in touch with sense objects purely for the sake of regulated, acceptable dharma. That is the point. So one is having the fire of mental restraint, because for a brahmachari that provision is not there. He should ideally not at all engage senses for any material phenomena. Absolutely not. But for a grahastha, it is allowed because it's also part of his dharma, isn't it? Laukika dharma. Certainly. So that's how it is mentioned. So you understand? One is fire of mental restraint, in which you put the senses, means you don't engage senses in regulated sense enjoyment also. While another is the fire of the senses, in which you allow the sense objects under regulated, restricted understanding. It's not unrestricted sense enjoyment for grahastha. What to speak of vanaprastha, sannyasi, and brahmachari? Some limited amount of sense enjoyment is allowed only in grahastha ashram. Other three ashram, they completely prohibit sense enjoyment. So you can see how Vedas are so clear on what is the goal of life. Brahmacharya ashram, there should not be any unnecessary sense enjoyment. Then vanaprastha, certainly no sense enjoyment. Sannyasi, no sense enjoyment in this way. So only grahastha in that life, and that too restricted. It's not unrestricted. One is allowed to indulge in money or other aspects up to a certain degree this way. So this is the point. Prabhupada also explains this nicely. The brahmacharis or students under the care of bona fide spiritual master control the mind by abstaining from sense gratification. A brahmachari hears only words concerning Krishna consciousness. Especially the shravanam is very, very important. This way, shrotradini. Similarly, the householders, they also perform the acts of sense gratification with great restraint uh, this way. So just like marriage, that is a very sacred principle, and it is followed as a religious, you know, religious under religious pretexts very clearly. Dharma patni, like that they will say, right? The wife is actually a religious counterpart. Uh, she is there to help the husband perform dharma together. That's why she is known as Ardhangini. Ardhangini, practically in every act of religious, she is the one who shares the half the credit. uh, like that. That's an Ardhangini. Uh, so, in every walk of life for that matter, but especially for the performance of dharma, Manu explains that uh, she is the one who is there to help him in dharma, not help him in adharma. No, help him in dharma this way. So these are the two kinds of sacrifices that Krishna mentions for brahmacharis and grahasthas. Sarvani indriya karmani prana karmani chapare atma sanyama yogagno juhvati jnana dipite. Yes, Prabhu.
Probably, yeah. Others who are interested in achieving self realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of all the senses and of the life breath as oblations into the fire of the controlled mind.
Yeah, then there are some others how they offer their these are basically yogis actually, yogis, Ashtang yogis. So they, how do they perform the sacrifice? Ashtang yogis, that aspect is being spoken here. So especially Prabhupada explains two terms, Pratyagatma and Paragatma. Hmm. So Patanjali says that when the yogi begins his path of practice of yoga, then he is called Pratyagatma. He is still attached to sense enjoyment. And when he perfects his path of yoga, it is called, oh, I'm sorry, one who perfects, that's Pratyagatma. And in the beginning, he is Paragatma. Hmm. Uh, So, as long as the soul is attached to sense enjoyment, it is called Paragatma. I mean, you can say it's like somebody who is just opening up, somebody who is now developing, while somebody who is Pratyakatma, one who is completely enlightened, living being, this way. So, how do they work? They work especially with the system of the pranas. They first practice the yogasanas and uh, stabilize themselves, and then they practice the pranayama. Uh, so how do they practice pranayama? That is, Krishna speaks that in next verse. We will see that. First, Krishna speaks about Dravya Yagya and all, and then he speaks about that pranayama. Dravya Yajnastapo Yajna Yoga Yajnastatha Pare Swadhyaya Jnana Yajnascha Yataya Samshita Prataha. Yes, Prabhu.
Having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, and others by performing severe austerities, by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge.
Yeah. So some perform the Dravya Yajnas in which they give charity. They offer some great amounts or grains or things in charity. Some perform the Yajna of Tapa, and they perform great austerities. Some perform Yoga Yajna, which is basically the one Ashtang Yoga that we spoke about. And then Jnanis perform Swadhyaya Jnana Yajna. They study the scriptures, and that's also Yajna. And all of them, they take these vows with great seriousness, samshita vrataha. So as I said, these are all different kinds of sacrifices Krishna is speaking. Uh, Jnanis take some sort of sacrifices like studying the Vedas. Yogis take sacrifices of sacrifice of especially this pranayam and all that, the path of Ashtanga Yoga. Nishkam karmis take the path of this Dravya Yagya, offering the things in charity and all that. Tapo Yajna. Gyanis may take Tapo Yajna or like that. Hmm. So these are all different people. Especially Dravya Yajna, you can see. These are the ones who are rich mercantile community. They open dharmashalas, annakshetras, athitishala, anathalaya, vidyapithas. So this is Dravya Yajna, where you distribute food, medical treatment, education to people. Dravya, resources, you give the resources to people. Uh, Charitable activities like that. But then there are others who also perform tapas such as Chandrayan Vrata or Chaturmasya Vrata or like that. And these are based on scriptures. These vratas, they are performed, and they may be performed for a certain purpose with which they may perform for purification or uh, for the sake of pleasing the particular deity or something. So those are tapo yagyas. Mm. So these may be taken by people who are nishkam karma yogis. Yeah, they may take up uh, such particular yagyas also. There are then still others who are like Patanjali system yoga yagya. They perform hatha yoga or ashtanga yoga. So they perform the yoga aspect. Jnanis, they perform Swadhyaya Yagya, they study Upanishads and Vedanta and all that. And Prabhupada writes such a nice line. He says, Krishna consciousness, however, is different from these because it is the direct service of the Supreme Lord. So, in Krishna consciousness, we see that one wants to directly serve the senses of Krishna and please Krishna directly. These all other sacrifices, they may be there, but they are more indirect ways. There's no direct service to Krishna. No? These are oftentimes indirect ways to become pure and come to that perfection. But Bhakta serves Krishna directly this way. So Krishna comes back to that Ashtanga yogis and all, how they perform this pranayam yagya. अपाने जुह्वति प्राणम प्राणे पानम तथा परे प्राणापान गति रुद्ध्वा प्राणायाम परायण अपरे नियताहारा प्राणान प्राणेषु जुह्वति. Yes, Prabhu.
Still others who are inclined to the process of breath restraint to remain in trance practice by offering the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming and the incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice.
Yeah, so these are different pranayam vidhis. You must be knowing, some of you, what is a puraka, what is a rechaka. Five kinds of airs in the body: pran, saman, udan, apan, vyan, all these. So they are controlled by doing the pranayam, right? When you inhale slowly, that's called puraka. Then you hold the breath, kumbhaka. Then you release, exhale, that's called rechaka. Uh, So by this puraka, kumbhaka, rechaka, what you do is you achieve the balance or equilibrium of the airs, like that. So that, what does that do? That basically makes your mind very peaceful. Uh, that mind which is running around looking for sense objects, looking for things of this world, when somebody performs pranayama, it will settle down. It's a mechanical way to settle down the mind uh, that way. So it helps to a certain degree, but then still, after that, there is the process of pratyahara, in which to take away mind from sense objects. It's also big struggle for yogi. It's not that easy. Pratyahara is very, very tough. Pranayam itself can become very tough, But pratyahar is in fact even subtler now, where you have to stop thinking about the sense objects that you like the most. So you have to get rid of them. Pratyahar. So in such cases, if there is no higher taste and all, then it's very, very difficult to take out mind from these thoughts that way. So, all right. So that's how all these pranayams and all these are the sacrifice. Then there is also the sacrifice where one practices a frugal eating, and then he makes the senses lose all taste for sense enjoyment by keeping them so frugally nourished. Senses, if they are too strong, then they want sense enjoyment. But if you keep them weak, then they don't want sense enjoyment. So some people follow that kind of sacrifice also. Apare niyata hara. Krishna is talking about them, such people. So don't worry about all these different sacrifices. Krishna is just explaining their processes and all. Anyway, we don't practice these things. The practice of reduced eating is automatically done when one eats only Krishna Prasad, right? So for a devotee, because he only eats Krishna Prasad, so naturally he reduces the aspect of too much overeating of any sort. Of course, here also you have to control sometimes in the name of Krishna Prasad. We may be also uh, we may be also getting into overindulgence. So I'm speaking it for myself also. So then you have to cut down, like, yeah, especially these opportunities like Karthik and all, then we can cut down. If you can take once only prasadam, that's the best thing in Karthik. One meal in a day, that's all. There are different ways it can be performed, but point is, anyway, I'm not saying that we have to follow it, but the point is, yeah, if we can reduce the time that is required for eating and all, and instead focus it on chanting and all, it's wonderful. If someone feels too much weak because of skipping prasadam, then you don't have to do it. Then best is just engage the mind in positive Krishna conscious activities. Yeah, but it's also good. The Kartik Mahatmya does say that one should give up that which is very, very dear to heart in this. I mean, the food item. If one likes a certain thing which is very, very dear to him, so one can give it up at least for a month or so. That way. Anyway, so the point is, yeah, we can try to. Sarve pete yajna vido yajna kshapita kalmasha yajna shishtamrita bhujo yanti brahma sanatanam. Okay, Shri Padambush Prabhu, you can read because Nitin Pro is not able to connect back. So 3 more verses and we'll pause.
All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the results of sacrifices, they advance toward the supreme eternal atmosphere.
So all these people who are the knowers of the yajna, what happens is, because they perform these yajnas, so their hearts become pure, and they may attain the Brahman. Depends on what they are aspiring for, what goal. So if they are aspiring for Sayuja Mukti, which is many times the case with these all yogis or gyanis, so then they achieve that after becoming cleansed of sinful reactions. This way. So Prabhupada says sense gratification is the root cause of material existence. That's why the common aim of all the sacrifices is to control the senses. देखो कोई भी yoga हो, common aim is to control the senses. So if some yoga person is not telling to control the senses, that's a defeat of yoga. Yoga means there is control of senses. If one is allowing unrestricted sense enjoyment and still wants one to make believe that one is practicing some yoga, that's not yoga. That is Prabhupada would say yoga for bhoga. Yoga for bhoga. Like that. So, no, we don't recommend yoga for bhoga. Nayam lokostya yajnasya kutonyah kuru sattama. Yes, Prabhu.
O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next?
Yeah. So, thank you. So, Krishna is, sort of summarizing. Without sacrifice, you cannot live happily in this world, meaning without sacrifice, you cannot even get dharma, artha, kama, these worldly goals. What to speak of moksha? Moksha is very, very far. Huh? So, even to get worldly things, you have to have a piety. Um, Someone may get some worldly things, like in Western world, you may see a great wealth because of their prior pious activities. But then point is, if one does not lead a religious life, then we see that one will not be even able to enjoy that wealth. So, artha and kama is not just economic prosperity, it is wholesome happiness, where your mind, body, senses, they're all very, very healthy. Uh, Not like you have a great wealth, but 70%, 75% of the marriages end in divorce. And 80% of the people have some mental sort of illness. And and then you call it a very developed country or what? You know, that's not even artha. That's not even kama. Artha काम भी नहीं है वो. अर्थ काम तो बड़ा wholesome होता है वो. Like this Vedic karma kand is there, no? So they will not only have wealth, but they will have the health to enjoy that wealth, and also their minds and their senses and all will be in proper place. It's not that they're suffering from mental anxiety and all. So we don't buy in such ideas like how do people in the West have such artha and kama? Is it there? It's not there. So much of mental illness, terrible, uh, like that, practically. So without sacrifice, without religious life, you cannot get happiness even in this world. What to speak of kutonyaha, meaning anya loka. What to speak of moksha, which is very, very far, this way. So if a person is not inclined to perform yajna according to the Vedas, how can he expect happy life even in this body? What to speak of this? So Krishna is concluding this section. Evam bahuvida yajna vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan vidhitan sarvan evam jnatva vimokshase.
All these different types of sacrifices are approved by the Vedas, and all of them are born of different type of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated.
Yeah, so Krishna had said in prior one of the verses, right? Third chapter, karma brahmodbhavam vidhi ब्रह्माक्षर समुद्भवम. कर्म जो है उस साइकिल में कहां से आता है? ब्रह्मोद्भवम. कर्मा इज मेंशन्ड इन द वेदास. एंड वेयर डू वेदास कम फ्रॉम? अक्षर समुद्भव. वेदास कम फ्रॉम द ब्रीदिंग ऑफ महाविष्णु. So Krishna is sort of summarizing that again. So all these different types of sacrifice are approved by the Vedas, and they are born of different types of work. So Vedas are the source of sacrifices. Sacrifices are mentioned in the Vedas. And if we know them and practice them, then, I mean, we meaning if someone follows them, then such a person will attain the mukti. But of course, as a devotee, we follow the yajna, which is Sankirtana yajna, right? We seva yajna, Sankirtana yajna. That's what we also follow. So, yeah, next verse, I mean, this year, 33rd, this is the last verse. Shreyan dravyamaya yajna jnana yajna parantapa sarvam karma khilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Yes, Prabhu.
O chastiser of the enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than the mere sacrifice of material possessions. After all, O son of Partha, all sacrifices of work culminate in transcendental knowledge.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So Krishna says that more important than that Dravyamaya Yagya, right? Prabhupada said that where somebody offers a dharmashala or some atithi shala, vidyapith, and charity sort of for such acts, um, Dravyamaya Yagya. More important than that is Jnana Yajna, where one acts with this understanding of proper understanding of spirit, soul, and so now this is very interesting, in this world, if you speak this statement, they may feel like, come on, do social service, help people. What is this? Reading some scriptures, Upanishads, Vedanta, and you say that Jnana Yajna is greater than Dravya Yajna? How is that? So this is because Krishna is taking the aspect of transcendental knowledge to be very, very superior than just some sort of, some sort of desire to sacrifice some possessions in this world. You understand? What I'm saying is, Krishna gives a great regard to somebody who is cultivating transcendental knowledge, and on that platform, he's trying to lead his life rather than just a mere sacrifice of some possessions that, okay, take my money, some money you give, ठीक है, आप लोग अच्छे से खाओ पियो बस. And what about your own life? No, no, I'm okay, I'm fine. You just take money. So somebody who is just giving some money or giving some resources, some land or like that, it is good. It is also appreciated. But more greater than that, such a person is one who is actually giving his life only, one who is cultivating that spiritual life in his own existence and trying to advance on that path. Dravyamayat yajnat jnana yajna shreyan, Krishna is saying. The sacrifice of transcendental knowledge is greater than the sacrifice of just material possessions. That way. So, as a devotee, we want to engage everything in Krishna's service. We want to engage ourselves, our resources, our family, our money, our talents, our skills, kaya, vacha, manasa, whatever we want to engage in Krishna's service, no doubt. So bhakti is a different thing. In bhakti, everything should be engaged in Krishna's service, no doubt. But if we are talking about only on the level of some Nishkam Karmis doing Dravyamaya Yagya, but actually Jnana, the transcendental knowledge, is considered higher than that, this way. So what I want to say is, giving some possession for Krishna, I mean, not Krishna, but for some social service. If you give for Krishna also, wonderful, no problem. But more important than that is the person himself should take up to the spiritual life and become a serious devotee. That is, in fact, more appreciable. Krishna also will appreciate this in 12th chapter when we will study that. Sarvam karma akhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Because if somebody develops jnana, then entire whatever he does is basically sacrifice. Somebody comes to on that transcendental knowledge's level, I am not the body, I am spirit, soul, and he's able to remember this constantly, act on that platform, everything becomes a sacrifice. Dravyamay yagya mein to, as long as he is offering that charity, only that is sacrifice. Other activities may not be a sacrifice. But this person's everything becomes sacrifice. So that's why it is considered to be better than that. When one's faith reaches the stage of transcendental knowledge, the performer of sacrifice should be considered more advanced than those who simply sacrifice material possessions. Because those who simply sacrifice material possessions remain on material platform. But transcendental knowledge is the important thing. So that's why, remember, in spiritual life also, if we do the things consciously, that will give a great benefit rather than doing things unconsciously. So somebody may be doing a lot of service, but he should also do with a lot of good consciousness. Otherwise, one may be doing a lot of service, but if he's not conscious, then somebody else who may not be doing that much service, but one is having a great Krishna consciousness, one is transcendentally situated, so then such a person will get great benefit. So this is not to say that we should reduce the quantity of service, but this is to say that we must bring in the quality of the service. We have to do it in a Krishna conscious manner, by taking care of all the details nicely, and keeping Krishna consciousness intact, doing it as an offering to Krishna, Krishna's pleasure. So then that sort of service will please Krishna the most. How to receive this transcendental knowledge and how the results will come, that's the last chapter. So these 7-8 verses will finish in 15-20 minutes tomorrow, and then also begin the 5th chapter. Thank you so much for your patient listening. I took half an hour extra, but I just wanted to come to at least close of this chapter so that tomorrow I can try to finish 5th chapter, or at least go till the end of some 5-6 verses remain, then I'm okay. We can manage 6th chapter then in 2 sessions. Okay. So thank you very much. If there are any questions, it's late now, so please ask tomorrow in tomorrow's session's beginning. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.